Okay, hey, Pete. Welcome to the Spirit of VMI Election 2021 Gubernatorial Candidate Interview Series. As you may or may not have known or know, we have interviewed to date Ms. Amanda Chase, Republican candidate, Mr. Kirk Cox, Republican candidate, and we have Mr. Glenn Youngkin, who's coming on sometime within the next week. We have not been able to confirm those times and dates as of yet, but really appreciate your time and effort in doing this. I'm Matt Daniel. I'm the chairman of the PAC, the Political Action Committee, the Spirit of VMI. We're founded in February, March timeframe, and we're providing these interviews as a service to not only our interest base, but also hopefully for the candidates themselves, so they can get out there in front of a voting block and answer questions that are specific to VMI. You should have received a questionnaire or it's a questionnaire. It's got 8 questions on it. In there, there was also some reference points, that you can go to for research to learn more about VMI. We recognize that not everybody is experts on the Virginia Military Institute, and so we want to be fair and show, present some articles and videos, etc., to give you some context to the things that we're talking about. Did you receive that?
I did indeed, Matt. Thank you for sending it. It was helpful, without a doubt. But fairly familiar with any and all, not all, but most issues that are facing you all right now. And I just want to lead off by saying, God bless you all for standing up and not being silenced. In the world that we're in these days, you have the woke crowd and these reactionaries who want to point the fingers of racism at any single thing out there, whether it's in the corporate world, when it comes to our history here in Virginia, or traditions such as VMI. So God bless you all for not being silenced and taking a stand and having your voices be heard.
I appreciate that. Thank you for that. So we'll go ahead and I have to say this too, because we were checked on this, and so I say this to all the candidates that we're interviewing. And by the way, we will be talking to the Democrat candidates. But their timeline is a little different than the Republicans, with the primary versus the convention that you all have coming up in May. That none of these are indications of an endorsement. We're just trying to get your answers out there and our series of questions out there, so that people can build some familiarity with the candidates and make their own choice. So I'm sure you understand that.
Absolutely. And guess what? I'll have the same opinions, whether I gain a single delegate vote from anyone watching this or not. My beliefs are my beliefs. They're not changing, whether someone gives an endorsement or whether someone doesn't.
Roger that. Okay. That's good. And we're going to post this on our social media and on our website as well, when it's all said and done. These questions are pretty short, especially if you've had a chance to take a look at them. So we'll just get right to them. So, Pete, have you ever been to the VMI Post?
Absolutely. I've been there a ton of times. Unfortunately, I ate a lot of the wrestling mats at the VMI Post. I was a Division I wrestler, walk-on Division I wrestler at the College of William and Mary. We would tangle with you Keydets all the time. Unfortunately, Keydets probably got the better part of me 3 out of 4 times. So I've spent a lot of time in Lexington, a lot of time on the Post, very familiar with the institution. And we need to preserve what you all have built over the past 200 years.
Well, thank you. What year did you graduate from WNO? William Mary?
1994. I was there from 90 to 94. And just a little background, we were the year before I got on campus, we were 22 in the nation, Division I wrestling program. The year I got off campus, they cut the program. So you might not want to have anything to do with me.
No, that seems to be happening in a lot of places.
Unfortunately, Title IX has been the death knell of college wrestling programs.
Yeah, they seem to take it on the chin. So do you know any current VM other than you and me talking right here? You know any current VMI graduates or?
Oh, dozens and dozens, from high school friends like Billy Kelly to Scott Ligamfelter, to John Adams. I probably know a good 50 to 75 VMI alums.
So what would you say would be if you can make one, an overall impression of VMI graduates and or cadets?
Well, I knew when I graduated from the College of William and Mary, it was always a known thing that the VMI network and alumni network was more powerful and more closely knit than anything else in the Commonwealth. We knew that these were smart, hardworking students, people who gave more, in their service to their country, and it is for lack of a better term, a tradition, an institution in the Commonwealth, unlike anything else in America. And certainly you have the U.S. Military Academy, and you have Annapolis, you have the Air Force Academy, the Coast Guard Academy. But VMI is a very unique product, a unique institution, and one that I fundamentally believe needs to be preserved.
That sort of leads into, thanks for that answer. It sort of leads into the next question, and you've kind of already answered the question, but I'll give you some time or an opportunity to expound on it if you want to, about the value proposition of VMI. So the question's titled, actually, do you think VMI is a valuable resource to the Commonwealth, the nation, and well-deserving of the resources, the appropriations that have been granted to date and future appropriations? So if you want to make any remarks on the value proposition that VMI provides, that would be a good place probably.
Look, it's an invaluable asset and resource to the Commonwealth of Virginia. In a day and age where people and public institutions of higher education are questioning whether there is such thing as truth, and decimating honor codes around our campuses in Virginia, I think it is necessary in our society that we have a place that puts truth and honor and hard work front and service front and center to the students that come on the post. I mean, this is something that we need to have more of, not less of, in the Commonwealth and in America.
Would you be willing, as governor, to veto legislation that were to take away funds, appropriations to VMI?
You're damn right.
Okay. So do you know about the VMI Rat Line, the sort of hierarchy of class structure and stuff like that? If you're aware of that and what the traditions are that go along with it, the point of the whole thing, do you think that the Rat Line provides something that is valuable to not only the cadets themselves, but also to and the product that they are, but also to the state, to the nation? Not to overstate it, but it is fundamental to the product. At least that's what we believe. What do you believe?
I absolutely believe that it is. Look, I think anything worthwhile in life is not just handed to you. And the fact that you all have, just as other institutions have, at the U.S. Military Academy at West Point, the Naval Academy at Annapolis, have different systems of weeding out people who belong or don't belong there. And you have a hierarchy that things must be earned, that a common ground that everyone goes through. I think it's critically important. Now, again, this isn't, VMI is not for every student in Virginia, and I think that's good. William and Mary attracts a certain crowd. VMI attracts a different type of crowd. I think it is essential and important to keep the Rat Line at VMI. I think the lessons that are learned through going through that experience, the bonding that happens there through fellow classmates, and what one learns about oneself when they're pushed, is absolutely invaluable. We need to focus on more things that build and drive character, not make everything into snowflake land where everything is just handed to you.
Yeah, we like to think of it as a crucible, and and very valuable to the end product. So the next question would have to do with the honor system, and you've already talked a little bit about the honor system. Do you think that VMI's honor system helps to produce graduates of men and women of quality, character, integrity, service, all those good words, those good adjectives? Do you believe in our honor system?
Unquestionably, yes. And this is coming from an alum of the College of William and Mary. We have the oldest honor code in the Western Hemisphere. But what you have at VMI is unique and valuable and important. And again, I have a 6-year-old daughter, and my wife and I are trying to instill in her at a very early age, right from wrong, that it's not everything in the world is not just gray, and that honor and truth matter. And having that as a central part of your experience of being a cadet is incredibly valuable, and it's valuable to the Commonwealth. Look, I got to tell you, in business dealings or political dealings, when I am dealing with a VMI alum, I know that they're operating at a higher standard. I know that because that's been part of their experience, and it's been part of my experience 30, 40 years later in my dealings with VMI alums.
Thank you for that answer. So you know that the honor code, the honor system, has been under fire recently. Do you think that we need to change it in any way?
No. And let me just cut to the chase. I think what's been happening to VMI has been absolutely egregious. The fact that you have a sitting governor who, let's face it, I served in the Board of Visitors at the College of William and Mary. I know how that system works. Every single member of the Board of Visitors of VMI today have been appointed by either Ralph Northam or Governor McAuliffe. So, if I had any type of a question with any board, I've been a CEO since I was 26 years old, any of the boards that I have placed, if I had a question, whether there's an issue about accounting or about racism, guess what? I don't need to spend $1 million to get to the bottom of an accounting issue or a question of harassment or racism. I call up the board, right? They should know I shouldn't have to spend $1 million of taxpayer money to find out whether there's racism or not at VMI. The people that I placed on the board should be in charge, should have the ability to answer that question without wasting taxpayer dollars and going on an absolute witch hunt that is meant to demean the institution. That is dead wrong. And, plain and simple, when I become governor of Virginia, I'm going to help restore glory to VMI. It is an invaluable institution to the Commonwealth of Virginia, and we need to save it. And you'll have a friend in me as a governor. Again, I probably shouldn't, because you guys beat my rear end many times when I was on your wrestling mats, but it is an invaluable institution to the Commonwealth, and I'll do everything that I can to make sure that it survives.
Do you see that there's any need to change the structure of the Board of Visitors as is right now? I'm sure you're aware of it. 16 members, some in state, some out of state, or majority in state, some out of state, some graduates, some not graduates, in order to get some of that sort of diversity of thought and diversity itself, I guess, in there as well. Do you see a need to change the way that it is right now?
Well, yeah, I do, because I think many of the picks have been bad, right? You have political activists that have been installed there versus people who can add real value to the institution. So, but do I think that we need to have a quota system of in-state? No, you just need to have good, smart people who feel an allegiance to the Commonwealth of Virginia and can provide value to VMI. And I would gut the board and start again.
Okay, thank you. The last question I have for you, Pete, is that you mentioned the governor and his statement that there's a clear and appalling culture of ongoing structural racism at VMI. It's been tremendously harmful to VMI. Is there anything that you can think of that you would do to undo some of the things that have been hurting VMI and the state, frankly, over the past year or 2 years?
Yeah, look, I fundamentally believe that you have an alum in the governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and Ralph Northam, who got caught in a scandal of his own doing, whether he was any of those people in those pictures or not, or had a nickname named Coon Man when he was in medical school, and he tries to hang on to power and tries to go on a woke crusade that ends up ripping down the institution of which he's a product of VMI, is absolutely abhorrent. Let's call it for what it is. This is a witch hunt, that is all political, to try to give cover to have this brand new woke governor, and it's dead wrong. And the carnage that's piling up is just ridiculous. So when I'm governor, yeah, I'm going to undo all of that, and I'm going to do it with a smile on my face, because we all know what it's about. This is just plain brute politics, and it's because someone desperately wanted to hang on to office when everyone in his own party, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Terry McAuliffe, the Virginia Democrats, the National Democrats, called for his head in his resignation. So what has he done over the past 2 years? He has reversed himself on nearly every position that he took. Ralph Northam used to support law enforcement. Now he's calling for an end to qualified immunity, which will absolutely gut law enforcement across the country. He asked all of us in the wake of his scandal to read Roots. I'm sorry, I read Roots in 8th grade, Governor. I don't need you to have a syllabus assigned to me. This is preposterous. And the fact that he is trying to score political points with the woke mob and the left because he has a racist past, and trying to run down the Virginia Military Institute is absolutely disgusting. And when I'm the next governor of Virginia, I'm going to undo the whole thing, and we're going to work together, and we will reform where there needs to be reforms. Hey, look, I have not gotten in under the hood. I guarantee you there are plenty of reforms that need to be made at my alma mater, the College of William & Mary. I think higher education as a whole needs an overhaul, okay? But we need to restore glory to one of the true gems of public education in America and in Virginia, which is VMI.
Awesome. Thanks, Pete. What we like to say in our PAC, and this is sort of catching fire, is that simply in 3 words, we can say our stance: VMI is good. Period. Dot. End of report. VMI is good, and that's sort of our marketing slogan as we go forward. I really appreciate your time today, and wish you luck on the campaign trail. I'm sure I'll see you out there, and I really appreciate taking the time. And we had to coordinate this quite a bit, and your willingness to take text messages and phone calls from me is above and beyond. So I appreciate that. Hey, Matt, this is important, and it's important to me. And I will repeat what I said at the beginning, which is, and John Adams, a good friend of mine, knows this. He's been obviously as an alum and has been involved with y'all. I don't care if I get a single vote from a single VMI alum or a single vote out of Lexington. I love it. Trust me, I want them all, but I will not change my stance on this. This is just a question of right or wrong. So this isn't about currying political favor or trying to win people over. What has happened to you all has been dead wrong. It's done for the wrong, craven political reasons. And guess what? We need to make it right. And when I get into office, I'm going to help you make it right. So thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest in me. And let's go forth and bring real change to Virginia. Super. Thank you. Good luck, sir. All right. Thank you. All right. Bye.